they're not gonna tell you where you fuck up, ever. They just don't give you the job,
Right.
and then you're just left hanging.
And you're stuck in this semi-abusive relationship with your passion. So,
Yes.
as you said, you have an insight into two different industries. How does fashion and acting compare? Which one is more interesting, fascinating, frustrating, anything and everything? Give juicy gossip. That's why I'm here for juicy gossip.
Mm. Frustrating fashion because of the gatekeeping. Everyone is a gatekeep girl boss, and fair fucks for them. But in the acting industry, I find so many people who are very happy to share what worked for them. And no one, not one person, like who's on the same sort of level as myself would do that ever in fashion. There are jobs out there, and I'm entirely sure of that. But whereas, don't know, all of my actor friends are posting all these casting call outs, whatever, that are open. Not one of my like people that I know would ever post a job that they don't want to apply for because they don't want you to know. And I'm like, oh, you're full of shit. But I mean, fair enough. But yeah, the gatekeeping in fashion is just crazy, and I think it makes no sense because yeah, it's a very skill-based thing. And
Yeah.
if you're not the right type of person or the right type of designer, like I'm a very niche designer, handbags. Most of the time, people are looking for handbag designers. But a women's wear designer will never post that because they're like, oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
what?
a women's wear designer. Because technically, I could still apply for a women's wear job, even though I might not get it because I'm niche and specified. But because in my speciality, okay, I'm getting very specific here, but for a handbag perspective, we need to create these technical drawings. Like, for example, architects make these, like, little, this is where the door is sort of thing. Like, that's what you do for a handbag from every angle and every little nooks and cranny. So handbag people do that in a very, very detailed way. That's why handbag people would get or could get potentially a women's wear job. Whereas a women's wear persona or menswear would not necessarily be able to get a handbags job because
Yeah,
they
because this
don't.
skill is different. It's like
It's different.
you're
It is
talking
different.
GP versus a surgeon or a heart surgeon, like
Yes.
it's not the exact same thing because right now there's a
Yeah.
couple of GPs going, I beg your fucking pardon.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, if you compare
But it
them
is
in
like that.
parallel.
It is like that because, one of them can get the other person's job, so they're never going to want to post that because they feel, I wouldn't say threatened, but like it's not their thing.
Mm.
So yeah, I find that very frustrating. Whereas in the acting industry, there are workshops with those people who are giving you the jobs, like all these casting directors. They don't even cost that much. Like it's 20 to 40 pounds. You can do it as many times as you want with any casting director and ask them questions right there and then how you could potentially get hired in a film that they cast for a series. Like you don't get that with leading
So there's
creative
more.
directors and
So
designers.
acting's more open than fashion industry.
Yeah. So the funny thing about fashion is once you're in it,
You're
they're
in
going
it,
to headhunt you.
right?
But if you're once in acting, you don't have to be fully in. You can go and seek out those openings. With fashion, you kind of have to make it somehow, and then you're going to be fine. And you can't really break out of the circle, if that makes sense.
Interesting, fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily a fan, but of the fashion industry. And I know lots of people find it very, very like, exploitative. But they still want to have it themselves because
No, I think it's if that's what you really love. I mean, my heart goes out to fashion designers. If that's what you genuinely, honest to God, love, and that's what you want to do with your life, it's like acting. You're stuck in this semi-abusive relationship with your passion. So,
yes. Yes. I mean, I get it. But with acting, you can actively seek a difference, I think.
Mm.
Because oh, I don't even know how to explain this, but I feel like I can be more active within the acting industry, whereas with the fashion industry, they're not going to tell you where you fuck up, ever. They just don't give you the job,
Right.
and then you're just left hanging.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's the numbers game as well. There's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
this. I was watching the Friends series, the French version of Call My Agent, you know,
Oh, okay.
and it's a comedy. Obviously,
Mm.
it's not completely factual. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, that time I was kind of like, thinking about the industry and agents and stuff, and I was feeling a bit frustrated. And I'm watching this series, and I just go, oh, they're in the same rat race as we are, Like I had a bit suddenly I had this, bit of empathy of like, oh, bless him, and casting directors as well. They're all trying to serve an unpleasable master in a way, or just this unknowable master, which is the audience. And yeah, good luck, So I'm like, okay. It gave me a bit less frustration. It just made me feel like I'm part of this community. They were all just,
Yes, everyone is like that.
yeah.
And like the more you find out about the industry and everyone in it, the more you humanize, like, yeah, you're just stuck in the same sort of thing. Like, yeah, the amount of agents that are not on some people's private or lists, or I don't even selected lists,
Mm.
most of them are not. And they want to be there because they want to be there, but
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
still have to do that like a rat race. So,
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
oh
that's right.
well.
It's important to go back to basics and again, create your own stuff and stay mentally healthy and do all that stuff.
Exactly. If you can create your own thing, always do that because someone's going to see that and might enjoy it. They
Mm.
might absolutely hate it, but no PR is bad PR. So.